Alright then, so that last game got into a little bit of a grind fest, but I am very proud of how we handled that grind fest. I went through most of our ways to just kind of recycle cards and get stuff back, which really highlights just how, just, it highlights the resiliency that we've had. I'm really glad I found a way to get the crystal chimes in. Very happy with that, actually. So going over first, let's go ahead and take a look at the new recruits that made their way in. Flicker did not actually get played per se, but it was making us think about the different things that we could actually do, and a lot of those options were really neat. So I'm going to keep Flicker in for sure. Addie, poor Addie, she got a little abused the last game, and just to find out that Tario was planning on turning her into a scary Durgan. Scary. But, she was actually there when we needed her, and she was ready to help Avacyn start pushing power, which we needed her to do. Now, we drew into the Sarah's Embrace, which meant that Sarah's Advocate didn't turn into a dead card. She suddenly pivoted her position to helping Avacyn on defense and turned Avacyn into a much more formidable blocker. Because going from 7 to 9, that's really not that different of a turn clock, although you could argue that you still want to do that because if Avacyn loses Sarah's Embrace, which she ended up doing just by virtue of dying, that means that she's still a 3-turn clock, so you go 9, 18, and then even the 5 is still enough to get there. So, probably could have actually done that, but, waiting to see if there are any blockers or anything like that is what we'll do with the Sarah Advocate. Kind of glad we didn't jump the gun and accidentally get a Rectogenesis, because that meant that she was still able to block as a 4-4. So, you know what? Sarah Advocate showed that she has some good potential, that she's worth keeping around, so we can see what else she can do. Replenish is another way to just get back our enchantments and artifacts, which next set, looking forward to Marcadian Mask, we're going to have more enchantments that we want to play, so that's going to be really good for us. We're going to be able to just get more value off of our Crystal Chimes, our Replenish, have more of a selection for stuff like the Argivian Find, which we held onto the entire game. The desire was strong to just use it to get back an enchantment that we would have liked to have. But we used Argivian Find, we used Monk Idealist, Crystal Chimes. I think the only thing we didn't do to get back one of our enchantments that last game was Replenish. And honestly, we were about to if we just top decked into that. So, pretty decent day, I would say. Threat Dynamo, it was a mana rock. I think pretty sure we saw it as a mana rock. Do what mana rocks are supposed to do. Can't complain. False Prophet is actually going to have more relevance going into next set, because with Marcadian Mask, we get access to High Market, which is a very good card to have because it's a sack outlet. Being able to say, no, you can't take Avacyn because, you're trying to take Avacyn, well, our answer is to go ahead and sack her and send her back to the command zone anyway if we don't draw into the artifact hate. Or, hey, you're trying to exile our guy, well, let's go ahead and send him to the graveyard so that we can still reanimate them later. All that stuff. And with False Prophet, it means that he's basically a 5-mana Exile Wrath, and I'm fine with that. I'm probably cutting the the Righteous Fury. Because as neat as that is, that was really awkward that last game when we needed to Wrath, and we had to rely on the top deck Winds of Wrath instead of being able to use the Righteous Fury because our opponent was playing smart and not committing all their cards to the attack. Academy Rector, kind of in the same boat as Replenish. It's going to get better as we add in more enchantments, but the card is so inherently powerful that she's worth keeping it in, even with kind of our slew of just stuff. When we did see her, she did all right. She got us our Oath of Lieges, which actually, that's deceptively powerful. When you just get a free enchantment that's going to get you free advantage, like an Oath of Lieges. It's a free land every turn. So that's filtering out our deck. It's increasing the number of things we can do. That by itself is fine. If we needed to get removal, pacifism is right here. If we needed just a way to stop attackers or beef up our defenses, Knighthood, Moat, those are still quality cards that we can go ahead and grab with Academy Rector. So, relatively okay. And this is actually one of those few weeks where we actually got to see all of our cards. Well, except for the False Prophet, but I'm okay with that. looking at the rest of the deck, like I said, Righteous Fury is awkward. I'm probably going to end up cutting that. I was talking about, being curious as to what the top 5 most powerful cards in this deck are. Just kind of in a vacuum from someone who's looking through our deck. There's obviously the Mishra's Workshop because it literally pays for, well, maybe not a lot of the artifacts, but it helps make the artifacts a lot easier to use. Maybe we shouldn't count as a land, though. You've also got your Sarah's Sanctum, which, once that gets going, it can help pay for a lot of the enchantments that we're casting. And like I said, it's one of those cards that's going to get better as we go forward through time, because we're going to be naturally adding in more enchantments. Now, with that said, I'm not entirely sure that will always be true if we switch to a more artifact-focused deck. But for now, I see us focusing on enchantments, and so Sarah's Sanctum is going to be very necessary going forward. Then you get your Soul Ring. There's a common theme here. Some of the more powerful cards in the deck are just the cards that make a lot of mana. And that suits me just fine, because Avacyn takes a lot of mana to use. Now, I am still of the opinion that effect is very worth it. How many times have we won or been able to stay in the game just because she was a threat to fog us? To fog for us. To hold everyone else off. Like, even if she couldn't drop all the damage because, there were, like, odd creature colors here or there, she still kept us alive so many times. And in the early incarnations of this deck, when she was literally the only real card in this deck, like aside from Soul Ring, because Soul Ring was here since the beginning, she would carry that deck, and we were only just now kind of capitalizing on the fact that we want her out more often than not, and that we're facilitating her with the Sarah Advocate, the Sword of the Chosen, the Sarah, Divine Transformation, Sarah's Embrace. We've keyed on the fact that we are going to win with Avacyn's damage. That has always been true throughout this Alpha Run build. I think there's been all of 1 or 2 games where we got in with combat damage with a creature that wasn't Avacyn and won the game, or at least threatened to win the game. Avacyn has consistently been there, so we're going to keep building around Avacyn with the focus of keeping her on the field and giving her the power she needs to close out those games. So really happy with how the deck is finally starting to come together. Imperial Armor. Yeah, Imperial Armor is a really good one for that. We've seen Imperial Armor do stupid things with Avacyn. Thanks to land tax. Actually, speaking of land tax, that's another card I would consider one of our 5 most powerful cards right now. It's just because it draws us 3 extra cards a turn. Doesn't matter that those cards are lands. That's still 3 extra cards a turn. And there have been plenty of times where that's been enough. Obviously, it's super strong with the scroll rack. Scroll rack right there. But by itself, land tax is more than viable. Looking at the rest of them, we have decent cards here. We have good cards. But, like, Wrath of God, Winds of Wrath, nothing quite matches up to, like, just the power of, stable spells. There's a reason why Wrath of God should be run in most every white deck. It's a 4-mana Wrath. It's all you need sometimes. Looking at the rest of this, kind of makes me... I kind of wonder how long Sarah Angel's going to be in here. Not that I'm looking to cut her anytime soon. She's still a 4/4 flyer for 5. She's got Vigilance. Her poking power is... okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. I have it in my head that, she's going to last long enough to be upgraded to Baneslayer at some point. I wonder how long that's actually going to be true. I wonder how long Warrior Angel is actually going to hang around for, because she could very easily be upgraded to Baneslayer Angel and be so much better for it. There's a lot that could actually just go on. We still haven't seen Radiant, weirdly enough. We've had 60 games with her on camera, and we still haven't seen her. So, still waiting for her to make her debut. Maybe she doesn't like sharing the spotlight with Avacyn. That's always possible. Oh well. So guys, you know the drill. If you like what we see here, then you can go ahead and help fuel the cause. All these cards, this project is made entirely possible because of the donations you guys make to the Patreon and the CommanderCast network. That money goes towards paying our hosting fees, paying for services, paying for the cards I need to actually make these videos, because I am a poor mother fricker, and I cannot afford virtual trading cards and, actual real paper cards, although I guess I'm not really paying that much paper magic right now. But bills and stuff and all that, life gets expensive. What can I say? So you guys help me out a lot by enabling to make these videos, and I do still love making these videos. I love, I love where the deck's at right now. It feels so much different than when we first started, and it feels a lot more focused. Like, it's been a real deck for a while now, but now that we've really, really found something to key on and that we're having success with, now the part where I can just kind of go, oh yeah, we're doing this. I might have to actually cut out the soul warning. That makes me sad. Yep. But if you want to go ahead and follow CommanderCast, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter at CommanderCast, and I've gotten a lot better about making sure that I tweet out the articles and the episodes and stuff when they go up. So if you want updates about when we post stuff, go ahead and follow that Twitter or follow the Facebook. If you want to follow me on Twitter for some reason, I'm BlueRam1409. Guys, thank you all very much for watching this, and we will go ahead and catch you next time. Next time it's going to be Marcadia Mass, and even though that set has a reputation for being super weak because it follows the super powerful Urza block, there are a lot, and I do legitimately mean a lot of great commander staples in that first set. I am really excited for this. We'll catch you later.